So behind me is Tortilla, and the UK's high streets are resplendent in these, and they do burritos. And today, I'm not only going to get a burrito from here, I'm going to get a burrito from Chipotle, which is just over there. Is it any good? I've no idea, but as a wise food blogger once said, let's give it a go. So before I sat down to do this, I didn't appreciate how logistically complicated this was going to be. But what I decided to do was go and get the same burrito from Chipotle and from Tortilla and compare the two. The reason why I just wanted to do this was one of the reasons why I wanted to set up a YouTube review channel is I found that I kept ending up going to Chipotle or going to Nando's as they were the only two places I felt I could go, spend my money and not feel like I was being ripped off. And in order to kind of broaden out my world a bit so that I wasn't always eating out at exactly the same places, I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll set up a YouTube review channel and I will use that to work out what it is that's good. What this basically means is that as far as Chipotle goes, and as far as Nando's goes, they are 10 out of 10 places, no notes. Like, I always am happy when I go there. Chipotle, I would say in particular, is God's own burrito. Like, if you want the perfect burrito in the UK, you're going to have to go to Chipotle. That obviously sounds kind of stupid. There has to be better places to go for a burrito than Chipotle in the UK, but I'm not actually sure that's true. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a quick review as to whether tortilla should go on the list or not. So I'm at Westfields. There's a tortilla behind me, which I think you can actually see behind me, and there's a Chipotle around the corner. So I've got the Chipotle, but I've got it how I normally have it. I normally have the Chipotle with double protein. And tortilla, I didn't get it with double protein. I got it normal, but big. And if you compare the two of them together, as you can see from the turntable here, the one from tortilla is slightly larger than the one from Chipotle. That might just be how they've packed it. I don't know. Also with tortilla, I got their meal deal, which is £3 extra, and you get a choice of soft drink and some tortilla chips. So we're going to try the tortilla chips first. So, I would say they're okay. Like, I did a review recently of CDMX. There's one of them in Market Halls. There's also a standalone place in the least salubrious bit of Soho you ever did see. I'd say their chips were better, but I mean, they're fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way through the tortilla one first and go on to Chipotle. I'm only going to eat half of these each, take the half back for someone else. I'm not having double dinner. Let's see how we go. So what I'm going to do with this is munch through this in layers. And I've also brought some hot sauce with me. Now, Chipotle have little bottles of Tabasco that you can take back to your table, but tortilla, I don't think have that. Right, now that I've worked through that, what I'm going to do is show you what it looks like once you've munched off a little bit of a layer. So let's try that now that we've got a little bit of hot sauce on it. It's sort of hard to say. I mean, it's all right. Now, I've cheated slightly because the Chipotle one I've had double the protein. Haven't even got to the Chipotle one yet. I appreciate that. But I'd say it's kind of, you could sort of do that yourself. Right, let's try the Chipotle one. It's really difficult to explain why the Chipotle one is better. I think it's like, it is more satisfying. I don't know whether it's just more satisfying. It just is. Oh, hang on, I can get the two side by side. Hold on. Let's try working through some of it with the hot sauce on. I'm just really aware of coming to this biased, and I'm trying not to be. There's definitely something better about the Chipotle one. Anyway, I'm going to munch through these and come back with my conclusions in a bit. So this is a place called The Broadcaster, which is opposite Wood Lane Station, just around the corner from Westfield. So it's next to Television Centre. It's why it's called The Broadcaster. So it's pretty cool in here, actually. It's really quiet. I understand that the top floor is a bit more vibey right now, but I'm trying to do this video, so I'm down here. So I've left myself feeling confused now I've done that. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a review of Tortilla. It was fine. I think the chicken was perhaps a little bit overdone. It was fine. Look, it was a perfectly competent burrito. If you want that kind of lunch burrito, and I think in fairness, the price coming in, you don't need a large one, so you could do that for £12, have some chips, drink, and a burrito for lunch. They kind of want to load you on there though, so it's kind of like as you go through the menu, it's kind of like, oh, do you want £1 for this? Do you want £1 for that? Do you want £1 for that? And I didn't need to do any of that. If you were somewhere where there was a Chipotle right next door to a Tortilla, I would just go into Chipotle. Chipotle it's just a much more satisfying burrito. What Tortilla were doing, you could kind of do at home. I've made burritos as good as that, but then again, I'm a real fan of Mexican food, so I'm quite good at making Mexican food, if I do say so myself. But generally speaking, yeah, I put that on a recommend. I think it was pretty good. If you want that sort of thing for lunch, it was fine. One of the reasons why I ended up doing the two together was because the Chipotle closest to me, which was in Watford, closed down, and it got replaced like 2 weeks later by a Wendy's. And I went to the Wendy's, and the Wendy's I thought was really good. I'm going to do a proper review of the Wendy's, but what I'm going to do with the Wendy's is it happens to be in Watford, next door to a Five Guys. So I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to take Five Guys, which is kind of like my baseline standard for a non-sit-down destinational burger, and compare it to a Wendy's. So I did the same sort of thing here today. It was kind of like actually compare Tortilla next to my as I said before, God's own burrito, Chipotle. I'm going to ask to like and subscribe. Now, I've watched YouTube for years and always used to wind me up when people were kind of like, oh, like and subscribe. On the other end of the camera, it is a little bit different. It does mean a lot if you could. Also putting together a new website with a Substack where you're able to subscribe. We're able to subscribe to a newsletter, which will be updating each month with kind of like good places and bad places, both destinational and non-destinational. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.